Hi, welcome to Module 9. This is the fourth of the four very important tools for you to learn about. This one's called the Bagua and stands for 8 sides. And this is an energy map or a template that you lay over an environment, whether physically or mentally. I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much do it now in my head. But when I first started off, often I would draw the actual floor plan and lay it over that way. And the more I got into it, I was able to do it in a lot of cases just mentally. But it's spelled one of these two ways. You're going to see it either way in a book. I know some of you are going to be doing a lot more reading about feng shui after this. So every once in a while will bring that up to you. Just like chi, it's spelled C-H-I, but it can also be spelled Q-I. So again, this is the fourth of the four tools. So you're going to have an awful lot of ammunition at this point to be able to start attacking an environment and trying to figure out the best way to balance it. Now again, Bagua stands for 8 sides. So if you notice, we have what's in front of us is a regular octagon. When they say regular octagon, that means that it has 8 equal sides. And each one of these is going to be sectioned out. And the first one down here at the bottom, in blue, is the career area of an environment. And it also is called a Gua, G-U-A. So you'll see that in a book. I often will use the word quadrant also. So starting in the front, down in the front center, you're going to see the career Gua. The next one to it is called helpful people or travel. So this particular quadrant or Gua has to do with people that are going to be helpful in making your life succeed. The next one is creativity and children. Back right-hand corner, very important Gua, is marriage or relationships. Now again, depending on the book that you might pick up, or depending on who you might hear talk about this, they might have a different term for it. One of these has got a lot of different terms for it, so I'll do my best to try to give you most of them. The one in the back center is the fame area, or your reputation. This is everybody's favorite one, the wealth area, or the Gua. Family, and then this one is wisdom. And I want to mention that the one in wisdom has a lot of different names to it also. But it's also the spiritual corner of an environment. Okay? And then in the center is the health area. And if you notice, every one of these quadrants or Guas revolve around health. And there's a very good reason for that. Everything, of course, is a takeoff from how healthy we are. So if our health is strong and we're doing well in that area, a lot of the other areas are going to then benefit too. So let's talk about each one of them for just a second, because you're probably going to get to the point where you might want to enhance one of these areas to try to improve that area of your life. But it can also be used with respect to helping to sell a house, as you'll see. Let's start off in the center front again with career. So if you're trying to improve your career situation, whether it's to get a promotion or to possibly get a new job, a better job, this might be the area that you might want to enhance for yourself or your family member. Going in a counterclockwise direction, the next one is the helpful people area. And the helpful people area is one that is extremely important because every one of us really needs to be helped along. There's no way we can do this by ourselves. There's no way we can improve in any of these areas by ourselves. So if you need to enhance that and bring more people into your life that are going to help you along the way, this is an area that you might want to work with. The next area is creativity in children. So if you're maybe wanting to write a book or learning how to paint, or you're wanting to conceive, or you're having some problems possibly with your children, this is a great area to work on in your home. Back right-hand corner is relationships, marriage corner, okay? And this has to do with primarily your significant other, but it's not totally. It can be your business partner, for example. You might want to really work on this area because maybe you're having some difficulties with your partner. Back center is fame and reputation. And it has to do with the things that you see here: courage, respect, how you're regarded in the community, maybe how you're seen at your church, in your neighborhood. So it has a lot to do with that. But in sales, it also has to do with your reputation. The sales, in a lot of cases, is a very big networking situation. So you want to make sure your reputation is very good and very solid. Back left-hand corner is the wealth or prosperity corner. It does have to do with money, but it also has to do with your prosperity in other walks of life. Somebody can be considered very wealthy in other ways. Continuing in that location, right after that is family. That has to do with your other family ties, improving them. And then back up to the front left, we have wisdom, which is also called skills and knowledge, or your spiritual area. The center, of course, is your health. It's your general well-being. And certainly that area is very pivotal, that it is in good shape, so that, again, the other things that are also, of course, important can take off. Now, when I'm trying to sell a house, these are the areas that I always try to enhance. Now, if you're staying in the house, there is probably one or two of these that are very important to you at this particular point, okay? But for all the real estate agents and home stagers that we have listening to this, I want you to understand that I always take care of the career area. And as you're going to see, the dominant element is water. And we'll get to the dominant elements in just a second. Very important aspect of what we're doing here. Helpful people, I have got to have people that are working with me. The buyer, the seller, the lawyer, the inspector, the mortgage person. I need all these people to be helpful to get the house sold. My reputation as a real estate agent would be very important to me, not only with my client, but also everybody else in that neighborhood that will hear about how I do with this house. The wealth area, of course, I need to make sure that they get the financing, but I also take care of marriage and partnership, or the love corner up there in the back right. It's important to me that I show whoever is looking at the house that it is perfect for their significant other or attracting a significant other. And in my thinking, everybody, whether they would admit it, would like to have somebody special in their life. Now here's a floor plan that I think you can easily see that we have the master bedroom in the back left-hand corner. There are two great places for having the master bedroom in a house. And when you finally get to the module about building a house using feng shui, you'll find out that that's something to consider well in advance before you start building. We have a couple of secondary bedrooms up front towards the street. They might have a problem possibly getting a good night's sleep because they are in the yang part of the house. The family room is in a good location because it's also in the yang part of the house. And the kitchen is in the back right-hand corner in our, believe it or not, our relationship corner. So when I lay the bagua over top of this, aligning it with the front door, looks like that. So aligning it with the front door, you'll notice that the foyer area is in career. The secondary bedrooms to the left are in wisdom or spirituality. If you are an empty nester, one of these bedrooms would be a great place for meditation or for quiet reading. Family room is in the helpful people area. Children and creativity is in the living room. The marriage and relationship area is in the kitchen. Maybe not ideal, but it can be worked with. Our reputation, though, is in a fairly poor area. It's in the bathroom and in the kitchen. And the bathroom and the kitchen have an awful lot of water, which does not have a good relationship with the dominant element up here, which we'll talk about. The wealth area, which is in purple, is in the master bedroom. That's a very good place for the master bedroom to be. The second really good place for the master bedroom to be on the first floor is in, of course, the marriage and relationship corner, which is in the back right. Those are the two most ideal places for the master bedroom, if at all possible. The green area is for the extended family. It's in, looks like a bunch of closets in a hallway. And the health area is in the center of the house where the staircase is. Now let's talk about the dominant elements, because this is really one of the first things you want to do when you lay the bagua over an environment, whether you're doing it physically or mentally. This is important. So once I've done this mentally or physically, I then can tell where the dominant elements should be. And that is something that I need to then take care of later. Let's go back to the front center. The front center is career. The dominant element there is water. Going in a counterclockwise direction once again. Front right, helpful people. The dominant element is metal. And then right next to it, children creativity, the dominant element is also metal. Those are the only two metals you're going to see. Back right-hand corner in marriage and relationships is earth. Dominant element is earth. And then we're in the back center of the environment. Fame and reputation is dominant fire. It's the only place you'll see fire. Great place for a fireplace, for example. It's a good place for a kitchen. Back left-hand corner, dominant element is wood for wealth. And then continuing for the family, the extended family, the dominant element is wood. Bottom left-hand corner, dominant element is earth in skills and knowledge. Center of the house, the dominant element for the health is earth also. So you have three earths. There's a diagonal from top right to bottom left. that you can easily remember. Career is, like I said before, water. It's the only place you see water. We have one water. We have one fire. We have two metals on the right-hand side of the house. We have two woods on the left-hand side of the house, starting in the back. So you'll get very good at remembering these. And those are the 9 areas or quadrants that we have to keep in mind. So going back to the same house, I'm now going to lay the Bagua over it slightly differently to make it easier for you. It's going to fill in energetically this way. Always think of squares or rectangles. A lot of people have difficulty looking at it this way. You'll see this a lot in books where they're going to keep the octagon. But it's much easier if you look at it this way. Now again, one of the things that I see here is that in the fame area, which is the back center of the house, the dominant element is fire. And I have a lot of water in those two environments, in the bathroom and the kitchen. So I've got to rectify that. What you always are going to do in your bathrooms is keep the doors shut, whether they're being used or not, for a lot of reasons. But one of them is that the energy is going to leave too quickly through the drains. So keep your doors shut for all your bathrooms, all of them. Now, how could I possibly make the bathroom have a little more fire? Well, of course, I could paint the walls a different color. I could bring in accessories like towels, a shower curtain, throw rugs. I could put on that vanity a little pot of red flowers. There's a lot of ways to try to increase the fire element, which should be dominant. In the kitchen, I'd do the same type of thing. I could use a red throw rug in front of the sink. Certainly that stovetop up there is representing fire, so that helps me quite a bit. But again, it might be out of balance and I need to bring in more fire. There are a lot of ways to do it. The back right-hand corner in marriage and relationship is in a dominant earth environment. So again, earth can be brought in a lot of different ways, 3 ways. And I can also increase earth by using one of the cycles. What you want to do is at least show some pairs in the marriage and relationship corner to represent the idea of a union between 2 people. That can be done with a painting, with some artwork, with a flower arrangement on that little breakfast table. There's a lot of possibilities. Again, the master bedroom in the back left-hand corner in wealth is in a great place. I want to make sure the bed is in a good location. And we're probably going to be putting in the top left-hand corner, a green, growing, vertical plant to represent our wealth increasing. That gives you an idea of what I'm going to be looking at. I need to lay the Bagua over top of the floor plan, no matter if it's a long rectangle shotgun type of environment, or even an L-shaped, a U-shaped, or whatever. And we're going to do a couple of those, which is becoming more and more common. We don't have a lot of squares nowadays. We have a lot more of that. For example, here's a floor plan that is probably a little more normal nowadays for some of the newer homes. We have a garage that extends outward like this. Okay? You notice the front door. Please do that. You notice we have the master bedroom, and again, a very nice location. So the back of the house does have a slight dip where the fame area would be. So we have a little bit of that possibly missing. So let's lay the Bagua over top of this, again in the correct way energetically. It looks like that. Notice again, some of our fame is outside. It's missing a little bit of the fame or the reputation area. So that might need some help to fill it in. Now, I always have questions about a garage that jets out like this. It's not the perfect setup. It sort of hides our front door somewhat from the street, which is never a positive thing to do. We'd like to be able to stand in the front door and be able to look both left and right and see what's coming up the street. There's that classic armchair setup again. We can't quite do that. When we're standing in the doorway, we can't look to our left very easily or to your right and be able to see what's coming up there. Now, if you notice, the two-car garage, the width from right to left, the width of it is actually less than half of the total front of the house. So therefore, that garage is an extension. And an extension is actually a positive. It actually extends helpful people. And if it's handled correctly, the garage, you're going to have a better enhancement of helpful people and to some degree, career. So how can we do that? Well, the two-car garage certainly needs to be uncluttered. If you're having trouble attracting helpful people in your lives, or you need some helpful people in your lives, I'd make sure your garage was uncluttered and clean. And the dominant element for helpful people is metal. So having some extra metal in there might be helpful. Now you can do this in a lot of fun ways. One of them, you could have a poster on the wall in there of possibly something representing metal. It could even just be a NASCAR event with a lot of cars on there, which are metal. So using posters. You're certainly not going to be bringing in paintings in there, but you could use a poster. So you have an extension in helpful people and to some degree career. You also have an extension on the wisdom corner in the front of the house. So that extension for the wisdom or spirituality is also positive because the width from left to right or right to left of that area is less than half of the total width of the front of the house. Now, if it's more than that, we're going to have what's called a missing corner, and then we have a bigger problem. Now, if you notice, the master bedroom again is in the wealth area. That's fine. That's good. Center of the house is in health, dominant element, earth. The yellow part looks good. Keep it uncluttered. Keep it clean. Yeah, the kitchen is in creativity and children. Dominant element is metal. Now, how do you get metal in the kitchen? Well, it's pretty easy, actually. You have stainless steel appliances or a sink, you've got some metal. If you have white appliances, don't forget white is also a metal color. So it's pretty easy to do that in a kitchen. Kitchens are often in semi-balance. They have fire. They certainly have water. They usually have metal. I bet you they always have wood because of the cabinets, for example. Is there usually earth in there? Well, sometimes your floor is just tile. You got earth that way. But sometimes you might need to bring that in. Now, if your countertops are an earthy element, then you're also covered in that way too. Now, let's look at the fame area for just a second before we leave this particular picture. It is missing some of the reputation area, and sometimes you need to fill that in. That line, the top of the red square, we could easily put a couple of plants there to square it up so that it fills in a little bit better energetically. Now, I don't need to put 10 or 12 plants across the top there to give it a square feeling or square look, but a few, 3, 5 would work nicely. And I'm going to make it 3 or 5 or 7 an odd number because it's a little more yin. Even numbers are more yin. What if you have a situation like this? Well, in the back left-hand corner, when we lay the bagua, you're going to notice that we have a missing corner, which is a definite problem. So our wealth is definitely going in the water right here at this point because that's where the pool is. Notice the intersection. Notice the intersection, back left-hand corner of that purple square. In that intersection of those two corners, if we had extended the house both up and to the left, that corner, we're going to put something to square it off. Very important in this case because it has a missing corner. So our wealth and part of our reputation, is missing. So we want to help them out by squaring it up. So again, where the left side of the house goes up and then the back of the house goes to the left, there is an intersection, and you can see it where the purple box ends in the top left-hand corner. Right there, I'm going to put a tree or a bird bath or something that represents that corner to square it off energetically to help fill it up and give us back our wealth corner to a degree. Again, all of these things are going to help. You're going to look at this, you can see at the dominant elements. Again, I hope you know what those are. Front center, you can see we have the career area, dominant water. Okay, what do I want to put in there for water? Well, there's a lot of possibilities, but one of them that I almost always use is a mirror. And I use the mirror in this corner a lot just because it also can bring in a little bit more natural light if I situate it correctly, but it also represents water. Great place also to put a little water fountain if you like that sound. You could bring in a painting that shows an ocean view or a seascape. Maybe the rug on the floor will have a wavy pattern to it. So there's always a lot of ways, after knowing what the dominant element is, to increase it. Notice we have some extensions in the front, with again the garage, and the bathroom and the wisdom corner also is an extension. Those are all positive. But the biggest problem in this whole thing is we have that missing corner back left. We do have a very nice extension from the marriage corner into that bedroom 4. So the major points using the Bagua. It's the first thing you and I both should be doing when we enter. Lay the Bagua over the floor plan mentally or on paper right away. So you might want to start off by getting used to putting the floor plan on a piece of paper. It does not have to be totally accurate for you to start. Put it down on paper, try to separate it into 9 equal rectangles. Often they're not going to be squares because the floor plan itself will not always be a square. It will be a rectangle or something like that. Figure out immediately the dominant elements, and you might want to write that on your paper for each part of the house. Notice immediately if there are extensions or missing corners, and write yourself a note that you're going to have to consider them. Again, the extensions are positive, the missing corner is not and has to be hidden. All right, again, this is another module that you're going to be coming back to quite a lot, the using of the Bagua. And you want to start using it as quickly as possible. Consider doing it on your house right now before you come back and we talk about the next module.